Hi everyone, and welcome to TWF Friday. Hi everyone, and welcome to TWF Impact on Axs Tv, or Smash and Inside Farseer. I am Joey Styles with Renee Young and with Aiden English, and today on Impact on Axs Tv, or Smash and Inside Farseer, we're going to see the the World Heavyweight Winnings, which has been unbinded from the TWF Heavyweight Winnings. So now you don't have to worry. So now we don't have to worry about one woman or one man, having both winnings. And first off, Joey Styles says, let me be real earnest about this. There are some folks out there who believe that if a business that does shows, films, or plays, if the leadership is guilty of some stands or behaviors or deeds, they then believe that the watchers, the onlookers, the watchers and seers are guilty of the same deeds or stands or beliefs. And I'm here to tell you that's not true. But there are going to be folks that say you can't watch any film, any show, or any play, you can't read any books or do anything because there's always something that's either sinful, unlawful, unright about them. And the only thing you could do is not watch them at all. You can't read or watch anything. Well, alright, we got Astronomer in the ring now. Alright, as the matchmaker and the main overseer of the TWF, today we want to say that I already had a talk with the four-setter Hunter Hearst Helmsley and the upper leadership, and they said that today the TWF World Heavyweight Winnings, which goes back to 2001 YL with Hulk Hogan, has now been yielded up. Now, that means that Mora is only the TWF heavyweight fighter that goes back to between 93 YL with Earthquake. So, anyway, we now need to know the two folks who are going to be wrestling today for the World Heavyweight Winnings. And first, that will be Big E Langston and Rex. Now, I know some of you folks are thinking, oh, you only picked Big E Langston because you don't want anyone to see you as a kind hater. First off, I don't kind hate on anyone. No need of their worship, the way they look, the cast of their skin, their forekind, the speech they speak, or the way they look. So, don't be getting on me for that, Astronomer says. Oh yes, Ecliptor says, Big E Langston is a former WWE NXT heavyweight fighter and a former WWE heavyweight fighter too. I know there have been very few black wrestlers to hell the WWE heavyweight winning since Kofi Kingston, Bobby Lashley, and Big E Langston. And here he is now. Ecliptor says, Alright, Astronomer says, there are folks out there that think that everyone's a kind hater. Or folks out there who think that if you watch a show, film, or play, or read a book, and you either are doing something sinful, unlawful, or you have the same stand or mindset, or you're guilty of the same deeds that someone else said or did. I'm here to tell you that's not true. Well, I never said that about you, Big E Langston says. Well, I didn't say that either, Rex says. Because there is going to be someone out there that's going to say you only picked Big E Langston because you didn't want anybody to think you were a kind hater. I'm not a kind hater, Astronomer says. And if there are any kind haters in this world, that's sad. But sadly, there's not really much you can do about it. Except scathe them, but that's about it. So today, we're going to have Big E Langston fight Rex for the World Heavyweight Winnings here today on Impact on Axs Tv or Smash and Inside Farseer. And Ecliptor says, I hope this is a good match. I hope it's a good fight. And I hope that we don't get seen as being kind haters too, since we're not. Well, Rex says, I'm not a kind hater. I'm not a kind hater either, Biggie Langston says. Because if the truth was, if they were truly kind hating, then there would have been I would have never been the TWF. I would have never been the WWE NXT heavyweight fighter. I would have never been a WWE heavyweight fighter if they truly, you know, were racist or kind hating against anyone else. Well, let's go. Well, it is true that there are folks in this world, Joey Sell said, who are kind haters. Either they're raised that way, or they choose to think that way themselves. No one really seems to know. And everybody out there likes to either shame or guilt those folks, which, yeah, those folks should be shamed and guilted. But the folks that should not be shamed and guilted are the folks that are not guilty of it. There are going to be folks who think that if you read a book or a film, or you read a book or watch a show, film, or play, you're either guilty of the same sinful and unlawful deeds, or guilty of the same stand or mindset. You know? And some folks seem to think that the only thing you should truly do is not watch or read anything. Because there's all kinds of things wrong with every single thing you read and watch. Here you go. Ding ding ding. Well, this is for the TWF. This is for the World Heavyweight Winnings. First, he is Big E Langston. And he is Rex in the Dollar Tree. Ding ding ding. Well, first off, Joey Styles said, I don't want to keep on talking about that. I have no running lead of what anyone thinks of their deeds or their behaviors or their stands or mindsets. Biggie Langston got Rex in a body slam, and down he goes, Joey Styles said. Well, Renee Young says, Biggie Langston, we always like to keep bringing this up, but he is a former WWE NXT heavyweight fighter. He is a former WWE heavyweight fighter. You know? And a lot of folks seem to think that, you know, they only did that to shut folks up. Renee Young said, well, I don't know, Aiden English says, because I wasn't there. I mean, I was there when Biggie Langston won the WWE NXT heavyweight winnings, but I was gone by the time he won the WWE heavyweight winnings. Rex is in a, Aiden English says, so I can't tell you why they did it, but they did do it. A body slam. Well, you don't know one thing, Aiden English said. No one else should be putting a smile on their leer right now and say, oh, WWE, you're in the lawful bind again. You got law worked again. Well, that could smoothly happen to any other skilled wrestling business. So no one else should say that they would never think that way. Oh! And Rex right now, coming back, he knocked down Biggie Langston with his tail, Joey Styles says. And Biggie Langston is down right now. Is Rex going to become the new world heavyweight fighter? Joey Styles says. I don't know, Renee Young says. I don't know. Your guess is good as mine at this time. And Rex come knocking down Biggie Langston. And now Rex is hoping that he will be the one who becomes the world heavyweight fighter. Joey Styles said, well, I can tell you right now, Renee Young said, whoever wins this between Rex or Biggie Langston, they're going to have put the work in. They're going to get the on-look of the TWF followership, Renee Young said. Yeah, they were, Aiden English said. They'll get the on-look. They'll get the love. They'll get the glee from the TWF followership. No need who wins or who doesn't win. And Rex right now, Biggie Langston with the big ending on Rex. This is going to be it. Will Biggie Langston is Biggie Langston going to become the new TWF, to become the new world heavyweight fighter? Aiden English says. We'll have to see. Well, yes, we'll have to see. Joey Styles said, if that happens or not. We gotta get the 1, 2, 3, Renee Young says. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Here is your winner, Big E Langston. Here is your winner and the new TWF World Heavyweight Fighter, Big E Langston. And Big E Langston is now the new TWF Heavyweight Fighter. Well, he's a new World Heavyweight Fighter. And some folks out there are just going to say, oh, you did that so no one can say you're a kind hater. Well, none of us in the toy wrestling gathering are kind haters. So, and sadly, you can guilt anyone, and you can guilt anyone who is or behaves that way, but you can't go around and tell everybody, well, you can't read this, you can't watch that, you can't do that anymore because someone said or did something that was either sinful and unlawful or wrong. Well, Biggie Langston is the TWF heavyweight fighter, and sadly we have to take all these winnings out. Oh, there it is. So we can get the one we need. You know. But good work for Biggie Langston for winning the World Heavyweight winnings here today on Impact on Axs Tv, Joey Styles says. Good work for Biggie Langston. He can now say he's not only the TWF, he's not only the WWE NXT heavyweight fighter, the WWE heavyweight fighter, the WWE Raw and Tag Team fighter, or the WWE Interlando fighter, or the TWF Hard Made fighter. He's now the World Heavyweight fighter. And now Jim Ross is now going to be talking with Biggie Langston. Alright, Biggie Langston, you are now the new World Heavyweight fighter. And I know a lot of folks out there are going to scathe the toy wrestling gathering and say, you only made Biggie Langston the TWF, only made him the World Heavyweight fighter because you don't want to be scathed for being a kind hater. First off, Biggie Langston says, I did not become the World Heavyweight fighter on those grounds. Yes, there are folks in this world who sadly are guilty of being kind hating. Either to the way someone talks, or the way they look, or their worship, or their forekind, or whatever. I did not win the World Heavyweight winnings so to make everybody think the TWF isn't kind hating. There are no kind haters in the TWF. And if there are any in the toy wrestling gathering, well, they can get the fuck out if there are any. First off, I know that some folks out there might think that this came out of nowhere and the TWF got frightened, the toy wrestling gathering got frightened that they would be scathed for being kind hater, so they made me the World Heavyweight fighter. Well, Jim Ross says, anyway, Biggie Langston, you are a former WWE NXT heavyweight fighter, a former WWE heavyweight fighter, WWE Interlando fighter, WWE Raw Tag Team fighter, WWE SmackDown Tag Team fighter, TWF Hard Made fighter, and you are, at least now, you were the TWF heavyweight fighter, and now you're the World Heavyweight fighter. Yeah, that's right, Biggie Langston says. I am. And I just want to tell everybody that I had a great match with Rex from the Dollar Tree. And if Rex wants to have another match with me for the World Heavyweight winnings, I keep making that mistake and putting TWF in front of it. But if he wants to have another match for the World Heavyweight winnings, then by all means, he knows where he can seek me. You know. Well, I just want to say, Biggie Langston, good work on becoming the World Heavyweight fighter here in the toy wrestling gathering. Thank you, Jim Ross. Well, that's my talk with Biggie Langston. Back to you, Joey Styles and Renee Young. Well, thank you, Jim Ross, for talking with Biggie Langston here today on Impact on Axs TV, or Smash It Inside Farseer. And that's all the time we got here for Impact on Axs TV, or Smash It Inside Farseer. I am Joey Styles for Renee Young for Aiden English. We hope you like Impact on Axs TV, or Smash It Inside Farseer, and we'll see you tomorrow for Friday Night SmackDown.